Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Margaret Johnson. We're breaking into programming a little bit earlier to follow a breaking news story where there was a shooting at Carver High School today. The police chief in Winston-Salem just told us that the shooting involved 2 students and it happened during a planned fire drill at school. And right now you have a representative from the Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system updating us on what's happening. Let's listen in
other locations, other Carver students, for example, at the Career Center. And so a lot of communication internally to go on. We did also cancel the football game tonight. That's just a precautionary measure until a complete and thorough investigation is done and we understand motives behind any of this. We wanted to take that safety precaution. We also want our community and parents to know that we'll have a full crisis team in place at the building on Tuesday morning to help kids, staff members, family who may be dealing with this situation.
We spoke with some parents at the scene who said that this isn't shocking to them. They said there have been other incidents at the school. Can you talk about the security measures that are at Carver right now? You've got some parents that are obviously very concerned after something like this has happened, and to hear them say, we want to pull our kids, and we're not shocked by something like this. I mean, what's your response to that?
What I would tell you is Carver is as safe as any other school in our school system. We live in a democracy. Like every other public school system in the country, we're doing everything we can in cooperation with law enforcement to take steps to make our schools safe. Again, I remind folks always this incident happened with kids who had every right to be in school and be on school grounds, and the ability to which we can manage that is often challenging. I would hope that parents would give us the opportunity to investigate with our partners in law enforcement and get the full facts before they rush to judgment. We understand that people care about their kids, and so anytime there's a situation like this, they're rightfully concerned about it.
Dr. Emery, some parents were talking about metal detectors. They feel like they should be in all the schools, and I'm obviously Carver doesn't have one of those. I mean, what are your thoughts about that, about trying to get more metal detectors in our schools here in Forsyth County?
I think we would certainly talk to experts about it. I know over the years since Columbine, metal detectors have come and gone. I think some of that's the practical nature of how do you get 600, 700, 800, 1,200 kids through metal detectors every morning. And I also am under the understanding that they're not 100% accurate. So certainly when we have an incident like this, we're going to debrief. We're going to look at all the options. We use it to learn. What do we need to do differently? Are there things we can do to make our kids safe?
What about the school resource officer? I mean, that's pretty great that he was able to act quickly and do that. Is there anything else you guys can tell us about this particular officer and the fact that he sprang into action so quickly?
I would defer to law enforcement about the officer. I'm too new to know details about the officer. What I would tell you is that sort of validates for me what we do know, and that is people are our greatest resource, being aware, knowledgeable, acting quickly. We're just incredibly grateful that this was taken care of very quickly and we didn't have any other further injuries.
Dr. Emery, is this the first school shooting at Carver High School, and is this the first school shooting in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools?
We were on our way here trying to get some history. We understand there was a shooting in the late 60s. I'm not aware from our resources, historical folks, of any other shootings at Carver.
60s at Carver then?
No, that was at Haynes.
Was there an incident any time in the recent future with a gun on campus here?
I'm not aware.
So anything parents were concerned about?
There was a gun on campus last year, yes.
Last year at Carver High School, gun on campus, no injuries.
No, it was not discharged.
Was it found in a backpack or a locker or something? Or?
I believe it was in a backpack.
In the high school, front of high school.
Dr. Emery, we saw students walking out in single file lines with their hands on each other's shoulders. Is that just protocol in this sort of situation, or was there still a threat recently at the school?
I think that would be at the direction of, and I would defer to the chief.
Yes, that's pretty much standard protocol where we ensure that the students are safe and they can walk out in an organized manner.
Chief Roundtree, are you concerned about any retaliation regarding this shooting from the victim's family?
Well, I think we're not at that point yet, John. Our number one goal is to make sure that our schools are safe. We want to make sure our communities are safe. And I do want to credit our school resource officer program. We are responsible for 20 schools here in the city, and our school resource officer was right there on the spot where he took immediate action to make sure that the remaining students were safe, and also the rest of the student population was
Has
safe.
the shooter been charged?
Not at this point. Everything is still under investigation at this point.
Can you tell us just what the status of the school is right now? You're releasing as normal, but under some special circumstances, buses single filing.
Well, we're still trying to get the remaining students. Right now, there are some students still on campus, but we're trying to get them out to their homes via their buses or either weather or they were at car riders.
I heard that the school was on lockdown earlier to maintain evidence. You were told, is that still the case, or people not allowed in and out of the high school right now?
Where people can't come and go freely. The school is in a semi-lockdown mode at this point also.
Okay. How long will that last for?
Until we're finished, I'm not really sure how long that will be at this point.
You said there was no resistance. How did the resource officer get this man in custody?
He was able to take him into custody without any resistance. And again, no one else was injured. The shooter was not injured. The officer was not injured, or any other students were injured.
Did he have a conversation with the shooter, or how did he come about getting him in custody?
I'm not sure. He just took him into custody, from what I understand.
When you guys took the victim, or when the victim was taken to the hospital, was he alert? Was he conscious?
I'm not sure. I'm not going to speculate on that, but his injuries are non-life-threatening.
So we pretty much have 2 juveniles who were involved in this shooting incident. I mean, I don't know if anyone can speak to if the suspect is facing charges. Will they be charged as juvenile or adult, or?
What we'll do at the conclusion of our findings and investigation, we will turn all our information over to our district attorney's office, and they'll make the final determination on what charges the suspect will face.
So can you confirm if it was a juvenile? Were they under 18? Can you at least tell me that? Were they?
At this point, I don't have the exact ages of the students.
Okay.
You know, some parents may wonder, since you're canceling the football game, any chance they were football players?
The decision to cancel the game, we don't even know if these students are football players. That's my answer to parents. The decision is purely precautionary until we get to the bottom of why this occurred. We didn't want to take any chances with safety in large numbers tonight at Carver.
The game is postponed, canceled, not postponed.
Well, it will be replayed, absolutely. Thank you.
How many students were around when this happened?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's about 700 students or so.
At Carver, but it would depend on where this occurred and
Okay, but we do know it was on campus. It was just outside of the school.
yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have just been listening to new Winston-Salem Police Chief Barry Roundtree and Dr. Beverly Emery, the new superintendent of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School System, who also just arrived in town. They've been talking about that shooting at Carver High School. And of course,
Because it is an ongoing investigation.
and we are going to go back there. You see the district attorney who is speaking there now. Let's listen to see what he has to say.
The police acted appropriately and quickly, and the SRO was outstanding in what he did today. And the school, again, acted appropriately as well. And they moved quickly to secure everybody and be sure everybody else was safe. So we asked the public and media just to be patient, let the facts come out, let the information come out. We know everybody's dying for more information, but that's as much as we can tell you at this point.
So the fact that we don't know if this person will be charged as a juvenile or not, can you say anything on that? Or because of the ages, we don't know? I mean,
Well, we're still investigating that to determine the ages of the 2 individuals, so there's nothing we can comment as far as prosecution at this point.
Can you say at this point, is the shooter cooperating in terms of interviews afterwards with officials?
We can't comment on that just because it's an ongoing investigation, but I think Chief Roundtree indicated that he was taken in without resistance. So
He's at the Public Safety Center then?
we can't comment on that either, John.
do we know if school will be there Tuesday? I would assume, right? You're still collecting evidence, but school
It will depend on how long the investigation takes, and we want law enforcement to be able to do their job and uninhibited and not rushed to get through this thing. So when they get done, they'll have more to say.
There'll be a crisis team for students, but will there be any initial security precautions in place on Tuesday? Any additional resource officers?
Well, that would be up to Dr. Emery and the school system.
And that will largely be dependent upon what we know about the investigation at that point. Certainly, if there's a need, we will. And we have great partnership with our police department. I'm sure they'll be there to help us in any way.
Can you, while you're up there, sorry,
Yeah.
and then if you stand closer to the mics, that's helpful. But can you react to something like this? Just in terms of you are new to the system. This is just the start of the school year for something like this to happen. What's your reaction to this, and where do we go from here as a community?
My reaction is I'm sorry that it happened during the first week of school, but there's never a good, as a superintendent, I don't pick a time, and I'm just grateful that we didn't have any further injuries. I'm most appreciative of the good work of our school resource officer, our staff, and it is an opportunity for us yet again to revisit safety procedures and look at what are we doing, what are our protocols, how do we handle this, and come back and reevaluate.
I'm not sure if you can answer this or if it's a better question for the chief. What more can you tell us about the school resource officer? How long has he been working at Carver? Is this the only school he works at?
What about his name?
The school resource officer is actually Officer Wilson. He's I think he's been at the police department for about 20 years. He's been assigned to, about 25 years, he's been assigned to Carver High School for about 2 years.
What do you have to say about his quick actions? I mean, that he was able, his quick thinking, and that he was able to get this suspect.
Well, I think I said it earlier. He did an excellent job with reacting to this situation. No one else was injured. He immediately took the suspect into custody to make sure no other students were injured, and no one in the surrounding neighborhoods were injured.
What's his first name?
Tim.
Tim.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
You said Tim Wilson, right?
There you see the three people involved, heavily involved in this investigation, talking about that shooting at Carver High School. Right now, the person injured, we know, has been taken to Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center for treatment, and that is where we find our Bill O'Neill live to continue our breaking news team coverage. Bill, what's the story from there?
Margot, we have no update on the condition of the young person who was injured or shot today. I can tell you what we did see outside of Carver High School, and that was dozens of parents and grandparents who were frightened and angry. They were frightened because they didn't know what was going on with their kids, if their kids were safe, angry because police were not sharing any information with them.
I just got the app on my phone and told me what was going on.
It's hell, we don't know if one of them is your children.
I just heard it was a shooting, and I just want to know if my baby is okay. They say go down here to the Carl Russell Recreation Center. That's what I'm trying to do, to get to my child.
It's crazy. It's just crazy.
I'm just trying to find my son. I really don't know if my son or my nephew hurt right now. I really don't know.
They was having an activity outside, and after the activity, it was over 4 shots. Pop,
Four
pop,
shots?
pop, pop, yes. They called me from the school, and I just want to go down here and make sure she's okay.
Telling us anything, what's going on with our kids. They telling us to meet at the recreation center, but they still not releasing the kids.
It's like seeing your child run out in the street and ain't nothing you can do about it. That's what it's like, seeing your child run out in the street. You turn around and it's too late. That's what it feels like when you like.
Sad. It's very sad. Our children can't go to school and be safe.
Several parents told us today it was time to put metal detectors in the school, and at least one parent, Margot, told me that it was time to bring prayer back to school. I'm Bill O'Neill in Winston-Salem. Back to you, Margot.
All right. Thank you, Bill. We appreciate it. Well, Carver's football team was scheduled for a home game tonight against Reynolds, and that game, we're told, has been canceled. We'll have more on that from sports director Kenny Beck in the high school playbook. And this, of course, is a story that we will continue to cover and bring you the latest in this newscast and on our website at WXII12.com. Another big story tonight is every parent's worst nightmare. For nearly 12 hours, the parents of a 17-month-old girl feared the worst after she was kidnapped. Shylin Neal is safe and sound tonight. However, the person responsible for the crime is still on the loose. This all started just before 10 o'clock last night at the Food Lion on Brian Jordan Place in High Point. That is where the SUV that Shylin was in was stolen. It wasn't until around 9 o'clock this morning that we received word that the 17-month-old was found safe inside that stolen SUV at the Campus Crossing Apartments in Greensboro. Our Rob Wu joins us here in the newsroom with the latest. Rob, what can you tell us?
Margot, investigators are still trying to figure out who dropped the car and the baby off there. That complex made up of area college students. It was at about 8:30 a.m. when a UNCG sophomore walking back to her apartment discovered the car that everyone had been looking for right there in the parking lot. She heard cries from the inside. It was a baby. And then she remembered an Amber Alert from hours earlier. So shocked that the plates actually matched, she grabbed her roommate just to double check before calling 911. That photo you just saw before was taken shortly after authorities arrived. You see the officer with the little girl in his arms. And then hours after the fact, the student who phoned in that crucial tip says it still feels unreal.
It's crazy. Out of all the apartments, they pick Campus Crossing and this random parking lot to put the car. So, I mean, it really is like a miracle that I found it. Honestly, that's crazy to me.
Now, investigators did also dust for prints and also other forensic evidence. They tell us it could be 7 to 10 days before they get any of the results back. Margot, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Rob. The father of Shylin Neal spoke with WXII 12 News exclusively this morning before the little girl was found, and here's what he told us.
I got a call from her godfather, and he called and said someone stole his truck.
And have you been awake all night?
I haven't been asleep.
The store just to get a book and some orange juice to take it to the house, and I come outside and the truck is gone with the baby in the back seat.
Well, you just heard part of the call to 911 from the godfather, a man who addressed himself as Michael Campbell. His call was one of 4 made to High Point Police in the search for Shylin Neal. And you can count on WXII 12 News for continuing coverage of this story. We'll have the latest for you within this hour and on WXII 12 News at 6. And remember, for the latest news and headlines, just click over to WXII12news.com, and we'll be right back.